What's up, everyone? It's Bran. In this video, I want to talk about the Hexagon community and why is it so strong? Why is it that people are calling this a cult of personality, a cult-like following? Why are people talking about the Hexagons in such a strong opinion of the community itself? Well, the first thing that I want to mention is, and I've been a firm believer of this. I'll speak anecdotally. So I've got three older brothers. You know, my mom and dad growing up before they divorced were a big fan of you're only as strong as your weakest link. And whether it's one of the brothers weak here and there, you know, drag them up, help them, give them the knowledge to be able to get up on their feet again and be able to get back to productivity. And that's exactly what we have with Hex and what Richard Hart is a big fan of, right? When it comes to only being as strong as your weakest link, you know, you can have we talk about the movie 300, right? You can have a allegiance of 300 people. But if one of those people is cancerous and is, you know, not a benefit, but a detriment to that group itself, then they can really cause a lot of damage. And that is something that Richard is really good about, not naysaying, but he's really good about avoiding and detracting, is, you know, keeping people in the core community that he follows that are consistent with his ideals. And I think that that's really good for Hex, because what it comes down to is a lot of people, they're still stuck in their old ways of thinking. And being as strong as your weakest link allows old Hexagons, new Hexagons, you know, people that want to join, it allows them to kind of join the allegiance, the Hexagon community, pull stuff like that, the form of knowledge, and it allows them to do so in a way that isn't judgmental, stuff like that. So it's really important, right? When it comes down to community, you know, I was telling my older brother the other day when him and I were hanging out, and you know, I had said that, hey, growing up, we had religion, which had its pluses and minuses. We had, you know, the unity and the bond between the brothers that were separate, obviously, from the parents. You had a more closer relationship to the people that were going through the things that they were going through. And what it comes down to is you want to be able to educate people and get the dumbest person to become, you know, the same level or at least knowledgeable enough to educate. And when Richard talks about, you know, Richard is a Mensah, literal Mensah. If you look in Mensah like Foundation or Mensah Society, I think it's like IQs over like 166, something like that. And anyways, when you look at someone like himself, when he talks about groups and not being able to like ostracize people because they might not get it all the way right, Richard has always given people an opportunity for a second chance, things like that. So I want to talk about that, right? Another bullet point that I have is Hexagons don't bring other Hexagons down, but they build them up. And whether the person that is on the receiving end of that, whether they feel like it's an attack because they think their ego is being attacked, or they think their personality and stuff like that, the character is being attacked, it might not be the actual case, right? It might not be. It might be that the other person doesn't have as clear of communication or the proper communication to have that message get through. But what it comes down to is you want to be able to lift your teammates up. And just like in the movies, right? In The Lion King, when you got Scar and you got the main guy, not Simba, but his dad. Anyways, when you got that, right? You got the person that's struggling, and then you got the other person that's clearly got the upper hand. And when they just let go, or when they, you know, push them off, then it goes to show you that, hey, they were more acting in a greedy sense and not a let's lift everyone up to the same level sense. And so I think that that's really cool, right? When it comes to not bringing other people down, but bringing everyone up. So I like to interview Hexagons primarily, people that are OGs, stuff like that, and people that are trusted, because that way I'm not getting people wrecked into shitcoins that I really could care less about, into things that might not benefit you but might actually wreck you. because they might have admin keys XYZ. So when it comes to the actual Hexagon community itself, one of the beautiful things about it is the community lifts each other up. When I say that, I mean that we share each other's streams. We, it's not like we have like a greed mentality when we're streaming of like, oh, you can't stream here because I'm streaming type deal. It's an abundance mentality. And what you see in the rest of the crypto space is not abundance mentality. You see people that are player-hating, jealous little plebs, and then you see other people that are successful like Hexagons, and they're leading by example, and they are participants that make that shining hill, shining city on a hill. Almost just pulled a Richard there. So yeah, the last thing that I had to say, because this is already like a 6-minute clip, but is that abundance mentality, right? It's not that scarcity mentality. So when it comes to new people coming in, they see what the past has done, and they see what their past paradigms have been, and they say, oh, like this has already gone up like 3,800x, and there's already like so many millionaires and stuff like this, and they think that there's not enough meat on the bone left for them, when in reality, I mean, Hexagons are honest, right? I would tell someone if I didn't think it was a good opportunity for them to get in, but I think that it is a good opportunity for people to get in, especially before you get a direct copy onto a better network, which is Pulse Chain, and possibly has the chance to outdo the value of the current Hex on Ethereum. So when it comes down to that abundance mentality, a lot of people, like even SpongeBob, right? They got like the Krusty Krab, and they got the other like plankton thing, and it's like, oh, I've got the secret little recipe. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have like stuff like that works together. But when it comes to Hexagons being able to at least educate and spread knowledge and spread, like I said, information, Hexagons really strive at that. And someone like Richard has mentioned that, hey, you could be a literal definition of a retard, IQ-wise, mental disability-wise, and you could still be able to announce and have the same arguments that someone like Richard has been able to, explain before, because now you have heard the example from the person that's leading it best. And I think that that's really cool. And I think that a lot of us Hexagons, especially on Twitter, especially on social media, have kind of had that presence that like, hey, a lot of us have been, just like with, traditional like influencers that I used to follow in 2017, you would kind of parrot their little narratives and paradigms that they were talking about. But with someone like Richard, it's really easy to see that, hey, he's a thought leader in the space. What he is announcing and proclaiming is stuff that is very beneficial to people, and it's clearly something that's lacking. Otherwise it would have already been, implemented. So that's all I have to say. I mean, shout out to all the Hexagons that have stood through the pain, right? There's been, just like Kinetics talks about, it's kind of like a big family. There's people that have little dramas and squabbles and beefs with each other, little groups and factions, and that's fine. It all kind of happens, closed doors anyways, which I think is more important than publicly. And then at the end of the day, you have those same people. They have the same cause, and they have the same end goal, but maybe they might have like a different opinion of how you get to that end goal. And so it's just really cool to see the success that we've already had. And so you see the success of Hexagons, and then now you see the Pulsicans, the Pulsidians, which is why I'm wearing this shirt. But you see the Pulsidians, and you see, t.me/PulseChain.com, and you see that room is significantly more. It's like over like 33% more than the actual Hex Telegrams chat itself. And the Pulse one has been around for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, and the Hex one's been around for like 2.5 years. So it's just a testament to kind of like tell people like, hey, we've already seen it work with Hex. Now we're going to see it work with Pulse and PHEX. And so if we can kind of just keep those same ideals, not saying that we're not, but if we can kind of just keep those things that have been working for Hex, we can really see adoption and ignition, which is where we want to go, to Pulse and to Pulse Chain Hex. So that's all I have to say. Hope this little clip and rant was useful, and till next time, everyone.